So today we're going to be looking at Ajax's Jurrien Timber. Is he all hype or is he a potential world-class talent? But before I go any further, if you need a place where you can keep up to date with the latest transfer news, find all the match stats you need from games across the globe, and watch highlights and stream live football matches, then you need to download the OneFootball app. I use the OneFootball app because it's completely free, and not only do they have stats and transfer news, but they also have videos to watch and articles to read, which is where I get a lot of my ideas for new videos. And as I said before, you can stream live football matches and watch highlights all on the app. Downloading the OneFootball app will help support the channel as well, so I'll leave it linked in the description below. So Timber is 21 in July and has been heavily linked with Manchester United since Ten Hag's appointment. He's a young Dutch defender who can play a variety of different positions and has done over the past few seasons for Ajax, from right back to left back to centre back as well. But under Ten Hag this season at Ajax, he's mainly played as a centre back on the right side, partnering Lisandro Martinez in the back four, although he has also played at right back on occasion. Timber is quite small for a centre back, just 5'10", however he is physically strong and a front foot defender who's going to push out of the back line, and he's strong and assertive of applying pressure close to a player when they receive the ball. And he's a very good standing tackler, able to wrap his foot around the player and the ball to put in a strong challenge. His tackling ability is probably his best defensive attribute, and we can see this as this season in the Eredivisie, he's completed 2.6 tackles per 90, only being dribbled past 0.4 times per 90, giving him an extremely impressive tackle success rate of around 86%. He also reads the game pretty well, sensing danger and being able to move across to provide the positional cover in the back line when needed, and he does strike me as a player similar to Joshua Kimmich or Philipp Lahm, who has high football intelligence, with the ability of playing in multiple different positions and roles and being able to adapt seamlessly throughout a match. And this is why I think he'd work so well for Ten Hag at United, being able to play as a centre back or right back, or as a single pivot in midfield if needed, and this is largely due to his fantastic on the ball ability. In possession, he's composed and fluid with his technique. When receiving the ball under pressure, he allows the ball to roll across his body before then moving his body quickly and driving past a pressing player. This enables him to receive the ball on the right side and almost glide past players closing him down, which enables Ajax to play out of the opposition's press, something that is massively beneficial to having a defender, as the side can then exploit the increased space in behind the midfield created by the opposition pushing up the field to press them. And this dribbling ability can be seen as in the Eredivisie this season he's completed 0.9 dribbles per 90, the most of any centre back in the league. This is an extremely valuable skill to have as a centre back, as when United are under pressure and passing options are being closed off by the opposition, Timber can use his dribbling ability to drive forward and allow United to break past the press without having to rely on multiple short passes which may not be available. In possession, he's also much more of a ball carrier than a passer, and so Timber may suit a wide centre back or inverted fullback role, as in this position in possession this will allow him to receive the ball and utilise his dribbling to full effect, whereas playing in a deep central area it's a lot more risky to take on a player because of the lack of defensive support if you lose the ball, and that's why deeper centre backs in possession are usually the player who has the greater long passing ability. So for example with Ajax it will most likely be Lisandro Martinez in a central deep position because he can utilise his long passing, whereas Timber prefers to utilise his ball carrying in order to progress the ball forward. I do think that initially in the Premier League Timber may struggle with aerial duels, completing around 61.5% in the Eredivisie, but I think he will eventually adapt. But I don't think he'll have a problem physically as some smaller defenders do, as he has the upper body strength to challenge the opposition forwards when he pushes up onto them. But overall I think Timber is a fantastic defender, already at his age and one of the best ball playing centre backs in Europe at the moment, and this is because of how unique his attributes are. For Ten Hag at United primarily he'll be utilised as a right sided centre back I'd imagine, playing on the right of a back three in possession, but playing in the centre of a back four out of possession, and I think alongside Rafael Varane, Ten Hag would have an excellent partnership, with Timber being the centre back to push up and engage the opposition's attackers, whether this is meeting them as they dribble towards him or as they receive the ball with their back to goal. He certainly suits playing more as a stopper centre back because of his aggression and standing tackling ability. Varane could sit behind and play more as a covering centre back, utilising his pace to anticipate and sweep up balls in behind. But Ten Hag could also use Timber as an inverted fullback, as he does have the technical ability to be press resistant under pressure and has a forward passing ability to progress the ball forward, and would have more space to carry the ball forward using his dribbling, so this could be the role that gets the best out of Timber in the short term. However, long term I think he is a centre back, or at least a wide centre back in a back three, because his one-on-one defending is so good, and he is a very good aggressive front foot centre back, which is quite rare in the modern game. He'd likely cost between 30 and 35 million, which I think would be a fantastic price for United if they were able to get him in either as a fullback or a centre-back, but most likely as a multi-functional defender, capable of shifting positions seamlessly, as the likes of Kimmich and Lahm have done in the past, and players like Kyle Walker and Cancelo do currently. If it's not Manchester United, I definitely think Chelsea should be interested, as he'd be perfect for one of those wide centre-back positions in Tuchel's back three, and Barcelona as well could be a good option with Xavi using Timber as a more solid right-back option than Sergio Dest, allowing Barcelona to shift to a back three mid-game, and having Timber with the view of him being the long-term Gerard Piqué replacement. But to be honest, I think most top clubs could do with Timber just from a versatility point of view. He can play in so many different positions, he's tactically adaptable, he's a very good defender as well, so I would say pretty much any team in Europe, even the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City, could do with Timber, and he'd pretty much be a good signing for everyone. But for Manchester United specifically, I think he'd be a very good signing, not just for the short term, but also for the long term as well.